This isn't one of those videos where someone talks about how not everyone can be high value and a lot of people have to be content with being average. That doesn't apply to you because you're not most people, right? Most people aren't sitting here watching self-improvement videos and trying to make themselves more high value. But there is some truth to that. Of all the people that do watch self-improvement videos, only a small percentage will become successful because it's a difficult endeavor. But that's not a reason for you to not pursue it. It is still important though that you do think about why you are pursuing it, because you don't want to give so much of yourself to something only to realize that it didn't give you the life that you wanted or the fulfillment that you wanted, right? It reminds me of that J. Cole lyric where he says, the good news is you came a long way, the bad news is you went the wrong way. Right? Now, again, like I was saying, like, you don't need to be obsessed with like being a high value man if it's not something you really want. Now, for someone like me, I still feel like it's a worthy endeavor to go towards, because I want like the lifestyle that brings, and I also think with the difficulty of the dating market, it will be very beneficial for me to like just give myself as many options as possible. Although you don't really need to do that. I think when you go into like the red pill talk, right? When you stop listening to like red pill trash and you actually go out there and you speak to women, you realize that, the dating market it's not that bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still bad. Like, there's still like a lot of trash and a lot of obstacles to hop over, but it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It's not like you're gonna walk out and like 99% of women are all like trash and everything. But yeah, like I was saying with like the red pill, it's basically feminism for men, right? It's kind of like how feminists say, all men are trash, and then we all have like our rebuttals. We've had this conversation over and over again, and why feminism is just it's trash, right? Saying all men are trash is stupid when they're overlooking all the good men, right? Same thing applies to the red pill when they speak about women, right? Like, red pill is literally just feminism for men. And I think when you do actually spend time to just go out there and speak to people, speak to women, and you talk to people, you realize it's not the worst thing in the world, right? So I don't think the dating market is that bad, but I still think for me, I do want to give myself like options, because I think my standards are like quite high. So I was like, it's either I'm gonna meet the standard or I'm gonna like lower my standards, and I don't really feel like lowering my standards. I'm gonna just try and get as high up as I can, right? But again, I think as time passes, I'm holding less and less of a grip of like needing to become like a high value man. Again, I outlined the reasons why I do want to do it. I still think it'll create a better life for me and my kids and like my friends and everything. But I think as time passes, it'll become less about being a high value man and more about just being the best version of myself and providing for my family. So I think it's something that you need to think about for yourself, right? You need to think about what's at your core. What do you really want in your life? And does being a high value man align with that? If it does, go for it, right? But if you realize that you don't really need to do that, right? You don't really need all of that. And I think it's also one of those things, like we were speaking off the red pill, like, I don't know if I heard this on the red pill, but I probably did. And they were basically speaking about how like, oh, you don't need to have like dealing with like 9s and 10s, basically like 9 out of 10s and like 10 out, basically like the prettiest women like on the planet. Like, dealing with that comes with this problems because obviously they're like really pretty and they've never had to like work for anything, so their personality is really dead and they like to like create drama and everything. Like, you realize, like, they were basically saying you don't need to do all of that. You don't need to have like a woman that pretty. You don't need to date a 9 or a 10. But again, like I said, using like a rating scale is also quite degenerate. But again, that's what they were saying. I was just repeating what they were saying. But yeah, just something like that. Like, you realize, like, a lot of us feel like, oh, you need to go marry like the prettiest women in the world and everything. Again, something like that, you realize when you go out there and you live life, you realize that like you'll fall in love with like a woman who's, again, I don't really want to use like a rating scale, but she's not like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, right? But you still find her like really attractive. You find her energy really attractive as well, and you guys get along and you can build like a good life together. Things like that, right? When you actually live life and you go out there and you talk to people, you realize like life is not the way it's painted by like the red pill and like people on the internet, right? It's not a rating scale, using everyone on like rating scale saying, oh, I'm only going to date like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Like, you realize that like there's lots of things that come in life that you don't need to be a high value man. Like, there are a lot of things you will learn, like just living life, that will change your perspective. And I think this is something I'm also like trying to do this as well, but I think something I just implore everyone watching this to do is like, you've watched enough self-improvement videos, bro. You know what you need to do. You just need to get yourself to do it. Just close the app, right? Just make a decision to just stop like living life online. And the phone has taken so much of your life from me. It's taken up so much time. It's wasted so much of your life. Just be like, enough is enough. Like, just go out there. Just go out there and just live life. Just do the things you're supposed to do. Work hard at something. Make a better version of yourself. Go out there and talk to people and live life and get experience for yourself. Stop learning from like other people's experiences. I know there's like that thing of like, oh, stupid men don't learn from their mistakes. Smart men learn from their mistakes, and then wise men learn from the mistakes of others. And again, like I said, you've watched enough videos to know, right? You've watched enough videos to know like the basics. You know not to go like date a woman who's like very promiscuous and everything. You know all of that, right? It's not like, oh, I'm gonna watch another Andrew Tate clip. He's gonna tell me like this little trick on how to have like a 10 out of 10 date or something. It's like, bro, just go out. You don't have a date. What are you watching this for? Go out there and talk to women and like go live life and just do things, right? And your life will be the better for it, right? And that's the message I'm giving in this video. Go out there, live for yourself. Think about what's at your core. What do you really want, right? You don't need to be like a high value man and live your life by like the internet standards, right? You don't need to live like an Instagram life. Just go live a life that's going to make you fulfilled. And if that aligns with like that internet lifestyle, then go for it, right? But for most of us, you probably don't need to do that. But yeah, if you're looking for a community to like join of like like-minded men, make sure you hit the link, the Discord link. I have one in my bio, and just go and join the Discord and like converse with other like-minded men, and hit subscribe to join the self-improvement brotherhood. And until next time, I'll see you boys.